Yeah, I think you got a permission to give, no?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I did. I think
Great.
no?
So just so you know, I've sent you 3 files, 3 PDFs. If you could print them somehow for the next time,
Okay.
that would be great. If you have an iPad with pen, then you can also do it on the iPad, but it's up to you.
Okay.
Personally,
Also,
I don't. Old school? Okay,
yeah,
so it'll be
I'm
paper, pen, and colors.
definitely.
Yeah. So first session.
Amazing. Super, super grateful and so ready.
Yeah, yeah, because you were the last time I heard from you, you were a bit lost, you felt a bit down.
Yeah, so since then, I think just things have been definitely going uphill. I
Uh-huh.
really felt like a kick up the ass, and it just took me into another gear.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah, just in general, I've been feeling way better. Like really not getting too caught up in the mind. I think
Uh-huh.
so. I mentioned that I did that ceremony about.
Yeah, how was that?
That was a very interesting journey, to be honest. Really, really interesting because I'd done I'd done mushrooms, I've done MDMA, I've done bufo, like I've done everything but separate.
Yeah.
This was combining mushrooms and MDMA together.
Hmm. Yeah.
So the belief behind it is that you work with your mind and your heart on the same sort of frequency.
Hmm.
And there was quite a lot of breath work at the beginning, which really helped. With the breath work, I can just go.
Yeah.
It was really like really high at the beginning, and then we went for the second dose, and then we went back into covering the eyes and going back into the journey, and that's when my mind hit. I got bombarded by my mind, like severely bombarded by my mind, and I thought that it wasn't going to go anywhere. I was convinced
Uh-huh.
that nothing was going to happen, nada, nada, nada. And I sort of surrendered to the mind itself. I kept saying, okay, here you are, and you're trying to convince me of everything except for going inwards. And
Uh-huh.
I accept it, which is a strong pattern of mine. I really got to see how much my mind overtakes everything. Like it was
Hmm.
the biggest part of the journey was just showing me how much I'm in my mind most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But the highlighted part of the ceremony, I would be at one point I could see myself in this very sort of burnt. I wonder if you know the scene in the Lion's King movie where the hyenas at the beginning have had all the war and then suddenly everyone leaves and there's just this desert that everything is burnt and dead. And so I
Hmm.
was in that space within myself. So I kept questioning, what is this? What is this? And then eventually it started to show me that I had all these like heavy metal chains, as very heavy metal chains around me, and like sort of tighten around me and closing my heart, closing me into this anger. I suffer from quite a bit of frustration and anger, or I was specifically towards my family, but I couldn't quite understand why I was so angry. So it kept
Hmm.
showing me that the more angry I got, the sort of the smaller and the tighter these chains became and the heavier they became.
Hmm.
And then, boom, there and then, it showed me that I was still carrying the anger and the not forgiving my father because he cheated on my mother 14
Hmm.
years ago.
Uh-huh.
And always been a daddy's girl. Like I always looked up to my father. I loved my dad. I was always very close to him. So that really impacted me way back then.
Hmm.
And during the ceremony, it really showed me how, yes, I've done all the therapy and I've done all the practices thinking that I'd forgiven him, but not from a soul place. So
Yeah.
then I let everything go. And in that moment, I wasn't allowed to fully surrender yet because they told me that there was a few more things and I kept having to put it behind this door layer
Hmm.
by layer by layer, and then eventually they gave me the permission to close that door and to say, okay, the father is forgiven and the father is the representation of the masculine, And since then, I have suffered a lot from feeling very frustrated and angry towards men in general and not quite knowing why. I always felt
Yeah.
like I was looking up and over them, trying to sort of squish them down. So I really got to release that. I really feel that I did. I went right to the core of it. And then again, I was shown many different things, a lot of mind stuff, a lot of my mind, and how I have this pattern of getting so caught up in things and not being able to drop them.
Mm.
So my tendency is to not be able to let go easily. I
Yeah.
hold on and I hold on and I hold on as much as I can, and that makes me suffer ultimately.
Yeah.
Um, so then after the ceremony, I did have a little bit of a dip. I think obviously because of the MDMA come down, I felt quite bleh after a few
Mm.
days. But then after that, I've just felt really like, okay, I've been around my family in a very, very, very nice state, a very blissful state, a lot of appreciation. It's very,
Mm.
very much humbled me back to gratitude of the basics.
Mm.
Is what I would say. That's how I feel. I've really had to go back to basics and go back to the appreciation of literally having a roof above my head, water to drink, and a body that can breathe.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
In a nutshell, that was 8 hours of a ceremony, but that was in a nutshell. That was pretty much
Yeah.
what I had to see.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah.
the meantime, I literally hit rock bottom financially, like absolute
Mm.
zero, which I haven't been at in years.
Yeah.
uh, because of the retreat and everything we had to pay for the marketing. We spent quite a lot of money on the marketing and on the build up and the website and the social media and everything. And I felt like I was choked. Suddenly I was like, oh shit, I
Yeah.
hate this feeling. I really hate this feeling.
Yeah.
Like, I live in that abundant state. That's
Yeah.
a big sort of chapter for me, I feel, that is, I don't know if it's a
That's the
chapter.
marketing of of something new. It's a
Yeah.
collaboration, no, that you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's failed completely. What we wanted to do was a 7-day retreat now in May, and not one booking, nada, 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 nada.
Yeah.
And we found a bunch of bugs on the website and lots of different things, which brought up a lot of frustration because those were my savings. But it's almost propelling me, and it's almost giving me the boost and the power of saying, "Fuck this! I want more." So let's go into the next gear. Really, like a slap in the face.
Yeah. And what's the plan?
Um, so now the plan when it comes to that project is slow it down a little bit and focus on daytime retreats and workshops. And we've got several planned in the agenda, and focus on getting the spreading the word and being seen as a team, her and I, because everyone knows us separately, but not as a team. And we're wanting to combine two things that people just don't know because it's got a new name.
What is she doing?
She's the owner of the Pilates studio in San Miguel. So she will be doing all the fitness, but she focuses a little bit more on like reformer Pilates, on a specific workout, which is like a cathartic workout. Um, yeah, she's doing more the yang, I'm doing more the breath, the meditation, the ceremony side of it, mind, mind stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And the initial idea of doing this was because I was just feeling so bored and so sort of at this crossroads with my job. Although I love what I do, I just feel bored. I feel bored at where I am because I know that there's so much more.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, I feel quite okay. I know that there's more and I know that I can do more. So why am I stuck in like a loop? So I thought
Yeah.
that this would give me the sort of the boost or the motivation for something new and different, which I hope it still will.
Yeah. It's not a guarantee.
No.
It doesn't sound like a success formula. I will tell you straight. it's a bit of, I mean, always I hope for the best, and I wish you, you know, great collaboration and great prosperity. But in my intuitive opinion, it's the wrong way to go.
Mhm.
You might
I'm
not,
definitely seeing that now.
and this was just the first, you know, manifestation of that, which I think confirms why I feel. I mean, I trust quite blindly on this intuition, especially when it comes to clients. So when I feel it strongly, I give it as it is.
Yeah.
Because your feeling of more and your feeling of crossroads with your work has nothing to do with anyone else or any collaboration with anyone. It has to completely do with you zooming out, lean back. So the taking slow is a good idea. But like slow when you meditate, some people meditate because it gives them a release,
Mhm.
which to me is just the symptomatic approach of meditation. It's not a very integrated format, although it affects what it is integrated in, your
Yeah.
well-being, your life, who you are, how you live, your love life, your work, your prosperity, your progress, your potential. At least meditation should somehow be done to improve that.
Yeah.
So am I learning meditation or am I improving that?
Mm.
Am I doing breath work, give people that release, that relief, or am I doing that? It's an interesting statement.
Yeah.
Who am I? What am I doing? And why doesn't it have the value that why doesn't it turn into the value that I feel I deserve, which is your compass? Is your intuition telling you no? But which of the two has the value? This or that? Because for this, you can only, there's a ceiling to what you can earn. And there's an amount of work that you have to put in to even reach that ceiling. And even that ceiling is not good enough for you.
Mm.
Even if you take everything, put everything in and take everything out, all you get out is a burnout and still not enough. Then you'll have to, you know, pay for your whatever expenses you have while not being able to work, and everything that you have now generated, saved, will be gone again.
Yeah. And
Sounds
that's,
familiar, right?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's a trap. And the only difference now you're stepping in that trap with someone else.
Mm.
Because it's what's different. Even if you collaborate with 10 people, 100 people, million people, are you doing this or are you doing that? So where I come in, where I make a really huge, you know, where I put a really big fat spoon in the soup and start stirring is exactly on that crossing point. That's the crossroad. You said it.
Yeah.
So if it's a crossroad, it's a crossroad. It means it goes like this, and then it kind of collapses into each other,
Mm-hmm.
or it's like a dead end, right? It's like, ooh,
Yeah.
like narrowing, like, ooh, you know, I can't breathe, I don't have money, I don't know what to do. That's a crossroad. It's the end of the road. It's the end of two roads crossing. It's two roads coming together and it doesn't work. So that's the plus and the minus meeting.
Mm.
But if you continue, they should give birth to a new paradigm where you're not at the end, but you're at the new beginning. But then it has to be a new beginning. You see, because it's like it is not really like this. It's more like this. It's a
Mm.
spiral, right? So something has to shift. What used to be like this has to now be exactly the other way around. And that's the difference between this and that, or this and that.
Yeah. Mm.
is a huge shift in your understanding of what you do or what you contribute you to or what value. Because this doesn't have value, but this does. You're doing this knowing that it affects that. Therefore, you feel that you're deserving the value, but at the same time, you're not really getting it, and the people that you're breathing with are not getting it.
Yeah.
But deep down, this or that, if I stay with my terminology, is the motivation for this.
Exactly.
Because if all is good here, then there's no work here. Then people don't have time for this. They are too busy having a great that. So if this is the motive, then why is it then the moment I do this, I forget about that? Because if I do this and forget about that, then this loses value. Then I use this for the wrong reason, to forget that. But actually you should do this to clarify that.
Yeah.
To rub your nose into that. To breathe, open your heart, open your mind, clear out, and then dip your nose into the shit. And then to be absolutely grounded and honest about your situation and be able to say, this sucks.
Yeah.
I don't, fundamentally, nothing in me agrees with this.
Which is the point where I definitely have reached.
Yes, but in what context and in what's the structure of your understanding? Because if you understand it in the way that I do, then you know that this is no more.
But I'm still, yet my foot is still there, right?
Your attachment is there, your foot is there, your identity is there, your collaboration is there, everything that you're intending to do, even after you understand this, which I don't think you do. That's why I'm helping you to understand it. Because if you truly understand it, you will shift from this to that. Which your life and your everything in you is telling you focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
But you say, oh yeah, but I can't do that if I don't do this. Because I'm dependent on this for that. And so money is the first thing.
Yeah.
But it's you see, really, is that the integrity of a yogi or a breath worker or any spiritual? Is that really the right motive?
No.
No, so it's a commercialized motive. So you lose this out of sight, you use that as an escape. So it gives you a kind of a relief from that, because when you're doing this, you're not thinking about that. And so you say, oh, that's a solution, kind of, but it's a symptomatic solution. It's just a painkiller. But the issue is still there, because after you wake up from your nice, medicine trip, whether it's through breath or yoga or meditation or Pilates or whatever it is that you do,
mm-hmm.
And yes, it has some positive effect on that, but mostly it's a relief from that. And the reason, and then of course, when the effect that stays for so long, you need another dosage. Because the symptom is still there, and the problem is still there. And the lack of taking responsibility and ownership is also still there. And the lack of guidance and know-how is also still there. So all these layers that are these missing foundation for taking ownership and responsibility and action here, you completely miss out, because again, you sit, behind a computer playing video games. But oh no, I cannot say that to a yogi, because yoga and playing computer games is exactly the opposite. I said, no, it's exactly the same. So please don't judge the guy that is smoking weed or the guy that is doing nothing all day, because you're doing the same. You're just doing it in the form of breath work.
Yeah.
I mean, I exaggerate and I put it a bit more black and white. I know you're more wise and you're more understanding than maybe the guy. But if I confront the guy who does computer games all day, he understands it also. Yeah. And he's also frustrated about it. Because it is what it is. So that's the kind of the rubbing your nose into it. That's when the roots have a chance to connect to the dirt. so that the lotus can grow.
Beautiful. True.
Right? Fair enough.
Yeah,
How would you like that thing to grow if you stay away from the dirt?
No,
And you
exactly.
kind of bypass it all the time, and you keep that wheel spinning, even if you call it the wheel of Dharma. I'm fine with the terminology. Yeah, it's a wheel, keep it spinning. You have to meditate every day. You know, I meditated 5 hours a day. And I worked really hard. And in the end, I had nothing. Well, I accumulated knowledge and experience, and because of doing that for 25 years, I kind of woke up. But the only reason why I woke up was not yes, it's also because I did that so intensely with so much devotion and giving my whole life to it, which nowadays almost no one does, because people don't have the grit and they don't have the spine, they don't have the discipline, they don't have the craftsmanship, they don't have, you know, the willpower to practice and practice and practice and teach and teach and teach and go for the discipline instead of the pleasure and the distraction, because there's a soul behind it that just wants to get there and wants to get it, and is willing to give all that. But it didn't get me there. It just got me to the point where I was in a position to know the effort I had made and to honestly ask myself the question, what was the motive just before I started the whole journey? And did I create that result? If I now evaluate, is that motive satisfied? Did I accomplish what I wanted to accomplish? And the answer was no, it's still there. And then the realization started. And all that other stuff that I learned in these 25 years is other stuff that I learned in these 25 years.
Yeah.
And I tried and I tried and I tried. And I said, no, I'm not just going to meditate and hope that God will give it to me. I will also, you know, be a businessman, and I will also do it financially good, and I will do all. That's why I worked so hard, and I thought I was going to be smart about it. And even that didn't really create that result. Now I had a beautiful career, and I did a lot of cool stuff and things that most people will never accomplish, not with what I did, because I went with that spiritual background into corporate business to a level where even the Dutch government gave me tax-free status, and I was scientific research about it, and I worked for all the big companies and all that. So I made at some point 1,000 euros an hour for some of the work that I did. But it didn't mean anything in the end, because after these 25 years, all that was not. I didn't have property. I didn't have a house. Yes, I had some luxuries around me, but that money was not there anymore. It came and it went, and it didn't really hold like it holds in most other people's lives.
That's how I feel. Like it's always this constant.
Of course. Yeah. That's why I'm saying it. I'm exposing myself to you, so you understand that we're kind of all in it.
Yeah.
So it's a non-functional system. I call it a broken record, and we all have one. And you can play that record forever, but at some point it will become very boring, and it won't get anywhere. You won't get to the finish line. So it's a broken record. It's stuck. It's a loop. Yeah. It's a trap. It's a labyrinth.
Hamster wheel. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you think you're spiritual and kind of out of the matrix, and you're just in your own little matrix, and you call it a spiritual matrix. I don't care what you call it, but it is exactly the same principle. Well, worse, because if you say, yeah, but I'm already spiritual, working on myself, doing trauma therapy and MDMA, I mean, what then? So now you get really desperate and lost. For the guy who's a businessman who's trapped in a wheel, he can start meditating, and for him, there's hope, because he can still become spiritual, right? But you've done it all. And so now what do? So that's worse.
Yeah.
Right? So that's really the death. That's where all that yogic practice it leads you to the ultimate clarity of I would call it self-discovery, but I will use less attractive terms, self-exposure, where the truth gets exposed. When you do it long enough and you start to slowly figure out that it's not working. And to be able to admit that, it breaks your heart, because it means that even spirituality or the devotion that you brought to it is corrupted.
Mm.
Is not complete, is not leading to what was promised. So someone sold you a lie and you bought into it. Maybe you sold it to yourself, but that's a whole community that is selling that product, and they all do it in the same way. And all these ways lead to through the same path. And all these paths lead to failure. All of them. Otherwise, I would live in a world full of spiritual people that are all super successful, where even the business people look at them and say, wow, how did they do that? I want that also. I want that kind of success. And then they would come to us and they would say, wow, I'll pay you whatever it takes, but I want that.
Mm.
Which is what you believe you are, somehow. That people, spiritual people, believe they have the gold, they have the key, they have the wisdom, they have the knowledge, they have the methodology. That if these people would just be open, then it would be great for them and great for you, because they have the money to pay you. But they don't look at you that way, and you don't look at yourself in that way. You just, but you do, and you kind of think you have the gold, but then where's the gold?
Exactly.
So how are you able to make a point? Like Osho did. He made a point with his Rolls Royces in the garage, but it has ended up killing him. That's also, a way to solve it somehow. But he at least had the balls to say, yes, I'm spiritual, and look, I can also afford a big watch and a garage full of Rolls Royces. So fuck all.
Yeah.
And I have free sex with anyone I want to, and there's no dogma here. That was a statement. It was just not very appreciated. It was threatening, but I think it was cool. Then they built a whole army and everything else. That's a whole other story. But you see what I mean? So if you could just be spiritual and successful and turn into your future self that has somehow integrated all of that, now you're somebody. Now you have respect. Not that you deserve respect as you are, as a being, but in this world. That's how you become attractive and appealing. And it feels good. And I don't think it has anything to do with your ego, which is what some yogis say. It has to do with honoring yourself. It's to what I put beautifully in a quote: you meet you raise your standard, and then you live up to it. Right? So that's what life is trying to show you.
Yeah.
Not just me. I'm just the guy who gives it words, who sees it very clearly and is able to communicate it. But you look around at any area of your life, whether it's relationships, money, work, whatever life area is important to you, you look into every box and you'll find the same truth. So your life right now, or you could say our life right now, because it's not just you, it's about many of us. This is what life is trying to communicate to us. And we need to take ownership and responsibility for it. If we want spirituality to strive, to have a spiritual backbone that actually creates results that affect people and therefore the world in a way that is concrete, that can be seen with the naked eye, that can be touched, felt, heard, sensed, with no doubt. So that for me is these are the basics. This is the baseline. This is when we forget about the whole story and the whole history, and we just say, we tell it, we say, this is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
The isness of things, the truth of the situation. Right? And I think the first step is to consent, to confirm, to take time to meditate on that. Now you're using meditation to confirm. So you're with one foot in meditation, in that pure consciousness, in that bluntness, in that radical honesty, which is what I call it, and you apply it to your day-to-day, to your current status quo. So you open your eyes fully and see it for what it is. Open heart, open eyes, open mind, with that pure consciousness, and then you just look at it bluntly. Because that's what the heart does. When the heart is open, it's blunt. When the throat is open, it communicates that truth in a very blunt way. You know the word blunt, right?
Yeah.
You look it up in the throat chakra. The heart will know the truth, and if you communicate it, it is blunt. See, all that I say is very blunt. It's like not even so much emotion. It's just like, a rock is a rock. I mean, how much emotion do you want me to have about it? Someone throws a rock through my window, and I said, look, the window is broken. I mean, what can I say? Yes, I can put the whole drama around it. Oh, maybe I deserve it. I can do a whole show. I can really turn into a puppet and do a whole dance. But the window is broken and needs to be fixed. It's getting cold inside, and now the flies are flying in. So I have to vacuum all day. Because they go in, they then can go out, and they drop dead in every corner of the house. That's just what it is. I said, unless you like that, I said, better stop whining and do something about it. And then we'll deal with the guy who threw the brick through your wall. But, it's, you see, you understand the different options you have. And so there's something quite cool about being grounded and being blunt. Is a pragmatic integrated state of meditation that you can immediately apply. So it's applied consciousness.
Nice. Yeah.
See, this and that together. The feminine and the masculine together. But you don't like that because you hate the masculine.
Yeah.
Because you have a real issue there, you see. So you say, oh, no, this. And then you collaborate with other women. And so that becomes your safe zone, and it's just your hiding place. And it still is still an external representation of an internal dilemma.
Yeah.
See, now it's all connected. Everything that you just said in your little introduction, that division that you got out of the MDMA and the mushroom, which deep down you already knew, there it is. You can now make like a simple, because I always like to keep it simple in the end. So you make a line like this, right? So internal, this little trauma issue, external, that split, and then here is the split. You see, there's this and there's that. There's internal, external, and there's this and there's that. And now you have like a square. You have a square or a square. You have like a cross. I'm going to draw it. Because then the whole story becomes like a very simple model for you.
Yeah.
And see, now we don't need the story anymore because now I've created a model. And this is something you can navigate.
Yeah.
This is a little compass that you can use, and you can apply it to everything.
I want to write that down here.
Because the story is always good because when we speak and explain, then a lot of things happen inside of you. It's a healing, it's energetic, it's information, it's many things happening. But then when it's done, it's done. We cannot keep talking about it. So then how do we create something that is usable or navigationable? Right? Because my philosophy or my work is to help people navigate their own personal and professional evolution. By evolution and not development, because evolution is happening and you are part of it. So evolution includes the movement of the whole universe, which you are part of with every cell and every part of your being. And the more you connect to your being, you're more connected to that evolution that the whole universe is in. And personal development could be completely disconnected from that evolution.
Yeah.
Right? It can become a whole kind of compensation, like a career-driven kind of thing that has nothing to do with your soul's journey. So I said, I need to have another word for it. So I called it a personal evolution agency. I'm an agent for personal evolution.
Nice.
Help people navigate their professional and personal evolution, or the other way around. And now we have, in order for me to do that, I need to explain to you, like we mirror your situation and then create a small model that you can use to navigate. And the first step, what is the first step when you navigate? So think of Google Maps. What's the first thing, if you would create a Google map, like an app like that, what is the most important thing? What's the first thing you need if you want to go somewhere? And you're using
Direction of some sorts, no? Or like a
direction is yeah, you need to know where you want to go and you need to get a sense of direction. But there's one thing that cannot miss in that.
where you're at now.
Exactly. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Where am I?
Yeah.
Locate yourself. So if you have a perfect map and a perfect Google Maps, which is like the perfect map, right? So I say to people, what people try to get there, like using Google Maps without GPS. So let's avoid this chat that we just have. Let's not touch the dirt. Let's not face it, but let's go there anyways. Let's go to let's go after that great vision. Without that realization, without putting your foot in the dirt. You understand what I'm saying?
I lost you there.
Yeah, for a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, so the people to go for or to go after a dream or a vision and to set your direction and then to off you go without knowing where you are, it's very misleading. You could end up anywhere because you go by pure imagination with no ground. So every step you take is not grounded. It has no ground.
Mm.
So these steps, no matter how smart you think you are, they have no ground. They are not supported by anything. There's no truth underneath. So it's a bubble. And so if that's how you navigate, you will end up there. You'll have an amazing adventure, but you won't get there because you're not getting it.
That resonates quite a bit.
Yeah, that's the broken record. We're right back to where we started, right? So this immediately gives you a hint that if you work with people without an intake, without a status quo, without a truth with the situation, I say to people, I would not even do the breath work if you don't really know where you are and where you're going, because you could end up anywhere and you might not like where you end up and your soul might not be in alignment, in agreement. with what happens next. But you'll have a hell of a trip. But you know what? I'm not a clown. I'm not like a attraction park. What I do is not recreational. If you want recreational, you can go to the spiritual marketplace, walk around and buy everything that you like and have a hell of a day and a hell of a ride. But the trip that you go on with me is not the hell ride. You are in hell and you don't know how to get to heaven, and I will be your guide. But if you don't acknowledge that you are in hell, then there's nothing. You're just arrogant and ignorant and not willing to face the truth. Therefore, we'll not be able to locate you. And if I don't know where you are, I cannot give you instructions of where to go. So I'm sorry, I cannot help you. So now with what I just did, I gave you probably some of the most important business advice that I will ever give you. Because you can now differentiate between this and that, doing this or doing that. If you do this, you do what everybody else is doing and you won't get anywhere. Well, except for getting tired. If you do that, then that's what you do. And you stop doing this. So now when people come to you, that's what they're in for. And so before you start, even the first step, you have an intake and you figure out where that person is and where that person wants to go. And then you facilitate all the steps in between until you're there. And if the person then paid you 5, 6, 7,000 euros or 10,000 euros, but reaches that point, I said afterwards, I'll ask you, was it worth it? I said, what's the value? I said, you give me back the 10,000 euros that you gave me. That seemed like a lot of money back then. But if you would now be, you know what? Give me 20,000, I'll give you 20,000 euros back, which is 100% interest on the 6-month loan that you gave me, right? So that's 200 euros interest in a year, which nowadays, if you put your money in the bank, you get 0 interest. If you put it in Bitcoin, you could win all, you could lose all. We live in a very volatile world. Real estate might be still secure, but even that, some people, you know, it's not. If you would have invested in anything 25 years ago, you would have won for sure. Imagine buying Apple stock or even Bitcoin at the beginning. But now we're in a world where everything is a scam. We don't know when it goes up and down. Some people win everything out of a minority wins, which means that the majority loses. And it's just, it's difficult. It's very volatile. That's the word they use now, right? Yeah. So I gave you, after 6 months, for the 10,000 euros that you gave me, on top I gave you the program. And now I'm going to give you back 20,000 euros in 6 months, which are 100% return on investment interest. But on a year basis, that would be a 200%, which any investor in the world, if they could get even a quarter of that, they will put all their money. I said, I'm giving it to you, but with one consequence. The result that we have been created, you'll be right back at the beginning. Now, would you do that?
No, not knowing, no.
I said, what if I give you 100,000 euros? You have it on your bank account in 15 minutes, but your mind will be blank. And this development that, and everything that I gave you will be taken from you.
Today?
Yeah, you always have the option to sell your soul. That's true. But believe me that my clients, after 6 months or 1 year, they are not able to put a number. They're not able to put a number. I said, okay, so now we've established the value. and we've concluded that it is invaluable, it's priceless, and you paid only 15,000 euros. So that's a joke. And so let's laugh about it, please, because if I don't see the humor of that, I'll feel very bad about the little money that I got from you for the result that I created, because you're now making millions. And I made a lousy 15,000 and I had to work a whole year for it. And you were a fucking arrogant, ignorant boy. And now you're a successful man that I respect. And I did that. So let's laugh about it. Let's go, because otherwise I'll feel really undervalued right now. But if you do want to value me because you have these millions, here's a donation possibility, and you can give me, and the minimum donation is 25K, and you become an ambassador. That's how I work.
Yeah.
That's honorable, right? That's something. Now, I'm not rich. I would need more clients. I would need, there's always the amount of flow that you need to be into, but this is real time. This is where I'm at. This is not like some fantasy. This is already lived. You can see in my website the donation page. It's there. Because my clients, in conversation with my clients after 1 or 2 years of working with them, they said you should, for that extra value, you should open a channel so that people who want to can donate, so that you can also make your dreams come true. Because with these 15K, you're never going to be able to build that villa. I said, that's right. And it does sometimes frustrate me. Like it's sometimes frustrates you. We're just talking slightly different amount, but with 15,000 euros, you can also not buy anything. It's nothing. You need 1.5 million.
Yeah.
Which means I have to work for the rest of my life and be highly successful. And then on the day that I die, I can buy that villa, which is not an option. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the difference between this and that. And you have no guarantee. But I guarantee you that if you keep doing this, you won't get that. If you start to do that, you might get it. Well, you might not get it. If you do that, it means that you are getting it. Most people don't get it, and that's a problem. And although I always offer my services and offer my help, most people are too ignorant and too arrogant to even use it, especially spiritual people. Because they don't want to hear it. Yet they long for it. And they pray for it with no success.
Yeah. So
group work, retreats, and all that stuff that you've been doing, forget about it. Forget about it. If you want that, either you're better off going after a rich guy than trying to do it yourself. Fair is fair. If you want to live that lifestyle, you better take care of yourself and attract a really nice, decent, but very good earning guy. Because that's probably the best option that you have. Unless your parents sit on a pile of money and when they die, you get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think that although it's nice if you really find a beautiful person who also happens to have some money, but it will never feel good. And you'll always feel small and unworthy because the money is not yours.
Yeah.
And so no matter how much you transform yourself, it will never be good enough. And it will never be good enough for him. So you'll always have to live in that shadow. So I don't think that for your soul that is really an option. Although if you meet someone, I hope he can really take care of you because you deserve it. Right? Why not? But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It will not get you off the hook. And life will still, unless you make 3 babies in you and you take care of them. Okay, but then that's your destiny, that's your work, that's your devotion, and then the man should take care of the rest. Fair enough. But since that also didn't happen, and I don't know, what's your age right now?
34.
Yeah, okay, so you still have time. So if that's really your wish, then I would say that's either you become a queen, or you take care of your husband, or you take care of your kids. That these are more or less the three options. You know what I mean? You take care of yourself, you take care of your husband, or you take care of your kids. When you take care of the kids, you cannot really take care of the husband anymore so well because you're too busy with the kids, and you won't be able to take good care of yourself in terms of running your own business and all of that. Forget about it. You cannot divide your energy, and the kids will take it all.
Yeah.
If you will not have kids and the guy doesn't want to have kids, but you take really good care of him, he will take really good care of you, and you have a good chemistry and a good soul connection, and you grow together, amazing. And you might have still some time to do some side business. But if that becomes too much, and when he comes home and you're not there because you're all about your business, he might not like it. But it depends on the dynamics between you and him. But for now, since he's not there and there are also no kids, I think you have only one option.
Yeah.
Unless you're the kind of woman that sits in the tower and waits for the prince to come and rescue you and do your nails all day. You know, that sometimes works.
There's a little part of that, obviously, that still dreams of it.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it.
But I thought it would it sort of did happen when I was 20, and then I walked away from that life. So there's a reason behind that too.
It's you have to kind of be a bit calculative. I think when you feel good and you do well and you become somebody in that respect and you have some money and you're a little bit independent and all of that, I think it will raise you to another standard. And I think that standard will be attractive also for the right person. That's nowadays what the social media spits, work on the relationship with yourself, because it will always be the foundation for what you transmit and the energy that you send out. And that will be the person that you attract will be a vibrational match with what you transmit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're like poor and you're in this broken record and then you are feeling down and you have still this unresolved issue and you're not really getting it, and then it just makes you resonate lower, and it makes you compensate also. Then the eating disorder comes back, then yeah, you can do breath work and you can ride your horse, but no matter how much you ride a horse, it's not that you're not really getting from A to B, right? They just you walk the horse and you come back right where you back to the beginning. And I need you to take the horse, pack your bags, and go. Don't come back. Don't return to the same old, because then you're just repeating your story and you're repeating your history. And this is what your personality is programmed to do. It's an autopilot. And you need to lean back and look at your personality and see what she's doing and say, no more. And keep the tackle in the basket. Right? Because this is what she's doing. But if you can see it, then who's the one looking? That's you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there you can take your power back. And then you can say, okay, we're going to do something else, even if it feels a bit out of the box or out of my comfort zone. But that comfort kills, and you're already getting bored. And boredom is the borderline, yeah.
Yeah.
You sink one step lower than boredom, and you're right in your neurosis and your psychosis and in all your stuff will come up, and you'll start misbehaving. And that's just because you're not really getting yourself to to really get into your purpose and to step out of that and to focus your energy. Yeah, so you have to give that I mean, we can only do so much in a first session. This is already a lot. I would say it's a big chunk to chew on. But don't take it from me. Confirm in yourself and have a good critical look at everything. Doesn't mean you should radically stop everything. I said, no, keep going, but keep your eyes open. Because you might see how this is working out or not working out. You can still have your experience. It's important that you go through the experience. But maybe you do it a little bit more grounded and a little bit more like, okay, let's lean back and let's see how this works out. And you might learn something there.
In fact, this morning or last night, I got severely triggered by a friend, and it's 3 friends in a WhatsApp group, and we're best friends since we were 5. So we know each other really well, and my pattern is always to get so busy, and burnt out, so busy, so burnt out.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this topic on WhatsApp voice message over the weekend, but she didn't reply. And I was wondering, like, wow, this is quite a big thing. Why is she not replying? And then eventually yesterday she said, I find it quite pathetic that we're the 3 of us here on the island and we spend 14 minutes voice notes on our phones and we're not able to meet.
Yeah.
So yesterday when I saw that message, it just hit me so strongly and it really triggered me. And I was thinking, shit, I'm not being seen for what just happened. She didn't have the time to even reply. Blah. So then I sort of slept on it. And then I felt very emotional about it in the morning. And then now I realized just before coming into the call was that it's triggering me because I know that I'm just getting myself back into this burnout pattern of not having enough time, 2 hours to go to the beach with my best friends from all my life throughout the whole week. And that's why it's bothering me. And that was a good wake-up call again, just before the call to realize like, shit, the season is literally starting as of today for me. Retreat season is back to back to back, go, 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 push, push, push. And I just do this same loop all the time. And I can't even find 2 hours in the week to just say to my friends, hey, let's go and have a coffee and chill. So then that for me
Well,
is
it's the lifestyle that you choose. It's the Ibiza season workers lifestyle. And I would respect that. I would understand, okay, it's high season, so it's working back to back. So no, not even time for yourself. So what am I whining about? But do you agree with the lifestyle?
I don't anymore. I don't want that. I don't
Exactly.
want that.
Exactly. So then she just reflects that.
Exactly.
And that's your frustration. And
Yeah.
that you are the owner of that.
Yeah.
And she just helped you to again be confronted with the truth of the situation. That's why I said it's not just me saying it. It's like you look in every box of your life and you'll see the same. And if I can give you now a week time and you can look in every box and you let me know. If you find something else, or then if in any of these boxes there's a different story, then let me know. I'm just telling you, I can imagine that if you look in every box, relationship, friendship, health, work, money, you look in every box, and I think all the boxes are telling you the same story. That's what I suspect.
Yeah.
Like, right? These are all the kind of little mirrors, little facets of the diamond, and they will show you. I think they will all show you the same thing. Now, that's good. If you can see that, that's a win.
Well, it took me 12 hours. A little bit of suffering and a little bit of discomfort and frustration and tears. And I'm like, why? She's my best friend. Why can't she just listen to my voice note? But she's so true about what she's saying. And then it was
She was
frustration.
not even blaming. She was just saying, she said, I'm sad, I'm frustrated. I feel that it's like, wow, that we can't even, and she didn't even say you, or, I mean, you triggered that in her, but then she spoke in a good fashion.
Yeah.
That's admirable. That's mature. She didn't go for the drama. She took some distance. She took some time.
Yeah.
So great friend. Keep her.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's also an indication of how you take ownership and responsibility of the situation. And it's up to you you're the only one who's going to be able to change that. And if on top, successfully or financially, is just kind of like a survival mode on top. On top, you have to sacrifice your life. On top, you're working super hard. On top, at the end, you have nothing. I mean, it's like, sounds like a bad deal to me.
Yeah.
So the burnout is not that you're working too hard. The burnout is that you're working hard and not seeing the result. Because that's a dead end.
Yeah.
And that
Which
doesn't feel good.
for that certain amount of time, for a few years, I thought this is fantastic. I'm doing what I want. But I know that I've reached a point in my life, in my evolution, in my age and everything. And I'm like, shit, no, the 3-4K a month doesn't work for me anymore, working like I do, and giving.
It's great that you make 3-4K a month with what you do. And that's about, you get to 5K and you reach the top.
Mm.
Then that's fine, but that will always be the amount of work you need to do. And that's how fast it goes, also the money.
Yeah.
And it's seasonal. So it's like, then in winter time slows down. Then, it's like, it's little, I don't know, how much do you make on a retreat if you work? Are you there like a whole week or 4 or 5 days, and then you're doing sessions every day, or what?
So I'm
Personal
doing
group sessions.
group sessions and I'll charge 350 per group, but it's different retreats. So then like this week I am teaching yoga and breathwork daily, but I've got lots of retreats.
Which is great. So you're very successful in what you do.
Yeah. That's
Just the level of success that you can reach in the way that you do it is limited.
Yeah.
If you can accept that, you're good.
But that's where I get hungry. Like that's where I'm like, no, I know that there's more. I know that I can.
So what more is there? What is the more that you need to then focus on to get out of that limitation?
Well, my mind keeps
How
wondering.
do you give more value? How do you just ask more, or will you have to do something different?
That's where I'm lost. That's where I really don't. Can I ask for more? Some retreats are on a specific budget, but then I wouldn't want to let them go either.
It's also limited. So
Yeah.
soon you can maybe do 20, 50 more, but then it will stop. So that's dimes, that's small money.
Yeah.
So if you want like double, if you want 10K a month, you have to then, what you're giving now, which takes all your energy and all your time, there's nothing there to do more, to get more, or to give more. That's it. You're hitting with your head against the roof. That's what I said. It has a roof. It has a limitation. So that's a box, and you're in that box, and you're hitting the walls. You've expanded. It's like a small fish in a small aquarium, and so you need to get out of that aquarium into a bigger one. Now it's still an aquarium. It still has water inside. There's still breath work and other things inside, but apparently the thing is bigger. So there needs to be more in. And it's not going to be more breath work because you're already bored because you're doing too much of the same. So you have to put other ingredients in. Now, okay, then you think, okay, I'm going to collaborate. And so, yeah, but it's collaborate. There's 2 people doing 2 things, so the average is the same.
Yeah.
because you have to divide it with the other person. So, I mean, so you're fooling yourself a little bit, right? You're even laughing about it as I speak.
No, because
It's
I'm
a
really.
it's a bit dumb. If you know 1 + 1 is 2 and 2 divided by 2 is 1 again, then you don't even need to count to 3 to understand that. I mean, I have a 13-year-old nephew. You tell him that, and he will laugh you in your face.
Yeah.
I said, that's not going anywhere. I said, that's a joke.
Yeah.
That's a 13-year-old. So that's silly. So you'll have to think of something else.
It's like my toolbox feels limited at the moment, you know, like I want.
Yeah, that's the next trap. More tools. Yoga, breath work, and what else? Horse riding. 50 euros for the breath work, 50 euros for and then you're even more exhausted.
Yeah.
And where do you get the time? So this is a real dilemma. No matter how many tools you throw in. Because that's the next thing that people do. Then they start to do more courses, or they say, oh, I need another this. And it's, oh man, this is never going to end.
Yeah, I'm glad that you point that out. Because there I am thinking, no, but if now I train
More
to.
promotion, online. It's never ending. I know so many people that all do the same thing. No, I'm going to start my army training center. Say, yeah, good luck. You know how much work that is. It's all they all think the same. And if you tell them that you're making 4 or 5K a month, they look at you with big eyes. Because they don't. And then you have the exceptional yogi that teaches at a retreat at a villa, and people pay 5,000-6,000 euros for shit yoga classes. And it's just some elite group of girls because they happen to have the network. Which is great, but it doesn't really count. Because either you have the network and you're vibrating with these people and they're coming to you or not. Try to get them from where you stand now. It's very difficult. She gets these people because she has that privileged life and background and her husband, and she knows all these fancy people. And they say, yeah, we come to you, and she knows how to do that. When you are living in that movie, then that's where the movie will play out. But you understand?
Yeah.
It's not easy to do that. The fantasy is there, but how many people make the transition?
Yeah.
I did. I made the transition. I work with high-end people now. But
So
I also have a very high-end. I also have a very, very high-end quality, and I'm a very high-end diamond also in what I deliver. Not in what I own, but in what I give. That cuts like a diamond. That's really sharp, and I'm appreciated for it.
Mm.
And I better be, because so I targeted it, but like I have often conversations with different kinds of people who contact me and they heard about me and they want to know my secret, whatever. And I always take the time, and I don't mind to speak 2 hours with someone. The other day I had a 4-hour meeting with an old friend, student who lives in Portugal, and she's promoting herself and she does some women's work and sexuality and whatever. And same, no money. I said, I need another formula. I said, okay, give me a call. I said, really? He said, you have time for me? I said, yeah, no worries. I have nothing to do. I'm bored. Call me. Yeah, but I have no budget. I said, I know, it's okay. So in 4 hours time, and then a few calls after, I created a whole new formula for her. She took it. She said, wow, amazing. She said, wow, it feels like God gave me like a diamond on a golden plate. I said, yeah, but you need to do it. I just gave her the whole layout.
Mm.
Super happy, but yeah, I can give it, but you need to do it. So, and the other guy who I talked to, someone also that I'm having conversations with, it's not a client, just random person and contacted me, and I'm always open to help. Some people become a client, other people don't. But I'm always representing and always helping and serving. And he said to me, he said, yeah, but Siri, you didn't get there in one day. If I know your story correctly, you've really been in the journey your whole life. And then at some point you get to that quality. But he silenced me for a moment. I said, yeah, I need to. It was a nice recognition somehow, but it was not to recognize it. It was to recognize that, is to question myself, can I really transfer it to someone else if that person hasn't had the amount of experience? And I've always been a true believer that yes, it says I did 30 years, so I can help someone else do it in 3 months.
Mm.
That has always been my deal. Because the amount of pain and suffering that I had to go through, and it just has to pay out somehow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm a believer of it, but there are limitations, and I'm limited by what you are capable of doing.
Mm.
You understand? So your limitation is my limitation, but in reality, there are no limitations. There's just a lack of know-how, and there's a lack of focus, and there's getting out of the aquarium and splatter a little bit on the dry. Is about not clinging and letting go and having some structure and some organization, some new things to focus on, and step by step. So the answer is this or that. So you did know the answer, you just didn't. When I asked you just now, so what are your options? You should have answered to go from this to that, although I don't really know what that is yet. But you know now that there is a this and a that. And you're doing this. And you need to ask yourself if you're ready to do that.
Yes.
Well, if that's true, then that's what we'll have to test. And then you have to have a critical look at how much of this you can still do, and if we're very honest about it. Now, you need to make money, so you need to work, it's fine, there's a season coming up, whatever. Right? Maybe you can save up a little bit of money, maybe you can put that money aside for some investment you need to make later, in that. And I'm not talking about marketing, I'm talking about working on yourself and to have some, to be in a position where you can move, you can have a little bit of flexibility. Had you have any questions still about this and that? Is there anything unclear?
No, it's very, very clear.
You can explain to me the difference
Can I explain to you the difference?
between this and that?
This is probably the situation or the place in life where I'm willing to walk away from. And that
What is this? What does this refer to?
in my case.
What's the system? Yeah, in your case, in many people's cases, many people like you. All
In
spiritual.
like sort of what we said about that hamster wheel, where it's the repetition of something that's broken. There's no end to it. So you're chasing.
Yeah, but make it concrete. Tell me, in terms of what you're doing, make it real.
Well, in my case, it's overworking. So I'm spending way too many hours for what I get. And with that, I burn my physical system, which then fries my mental, emotional system, which gets me right back to the neurosis, to that place.
Exactly. So you're wasting energy and you're not, and the fact that you choose a profession and a way to deliver it that has a ceiling.
That has a what, sorry?
Ceiling.
Yeah.
Roof.
Yeah.
So because if you could just keep spinning that wheel and you can, it's like when Toyota spins that wheel, they produce 100,000 cars and they make money. And the more cars they can spin, the more money comes out. So they invest all that money in technology that can help build these cars quicker, better, faster. They have their values, and it's quality needs to be the best. And at the same time, we need to produce cars faster than anyone else with less cost, right? And so
Yeah.
now we get all the masterminds of the world to do it. And then this guy came, who first he had this idea when he presented it to Toyota, and they said, no, 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 no. So they were arrogant and ignorant. Many years later, they politely asked the guy to come. The guy said, yeah, you better put me on a private jet and pay me so much, or I will do absolutely not, because the first time they ignored him. Then he came based on his terms, and he changed Toyota forever, and they became the best, the best production facility in the world. And so Toyota took the lead in car production. And it's a brilliant brand because the cars, they never break down. They're really good. I drive a Toyota. Very special one. Doesn't matter, it's just a story. But so that's when you invest in spinning the wheel in a way that is efficient and it's successful. But in your case, you know what I mean?
Unless I
Collaboration.
had, unless I did the amount of sessions, if I was doing, instead of retreats, I was doing like conference rooms with like 500 breathers as opposed to 5.
Yeah, but it's that's fine. I did that. I did in the end. I did conferences. I did it all. Where's my house? Where's my villa?
Mm.
I did that. I did workshops where the conference room was too small for the amount of people that wanted to join. They decided to put a camera in front of me and a screen on the next floor so that more people could participate. This truly happened.
Mm.
So what? I have 3 beautiful pictures of it. Me and a young boy in a beautiful Calvin Klein suit. And it was amazing, the experience. But so what? You're not Joe Dispenza.
No.
And if you want to be him, you better start, seriously dive into your material and become like an expert to a level where it becomes totally scientific and you can explain it to the bone in a way that no one else can, if you want that kind of exposure. That's not easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you make unrealistic out of desperation, you start to make almost unrealistic ideas. Unless you're really destined to do that, like some people do. Like I know a few names, but they're big names. And big names stand in front of big audiences. Whether I like the guys or not, like Tony Robbins or Joe Dispenza or Abraham Hicks, or they do that. They make a ton of money, but they have something to offer.
Yeah.
And if you would have that, if that would be within your reach, I would probably be taking coaching from you right now. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With no disrespect, but to keep ourselves in reality. But hey, dream, and if that's your destiny, wow, I would love to see you on stage. Really, I'll be the first to sign up. Amazing, but you know what I mean? It takes something.
Mm.
So see within reach, and then see, and then no matter how you turn it, you'll hit the wall. With this,
Mm.
with that, what's that?
I was going to say no ceiling to this, but no, that's just a joke. It's taking the valuable part of this and polishing it until it's shiny.
No, that's vague. What's the difference between this and that? What was that? What did I refer to? This is the exam at the end of the session.
Yeah, that is better. That is bigger. That is more.
What is that? Tell me. Look, this is a pen and this is a phone. This is this and this is that. It's concrete. No, you say, yeah, it's more expensive, you can do more things with it. I said, yeah, but what is it?
Better.
Yeah, it's better. A phone is better than a pen. My 13-year-old nephew knows it. So you choose, and he takes the phone. He doesn't take the pen.
Yeah.
Because it's better. But what is it?
Can I say it's the upgraded version to yourself, the better version?
It's the true naked reason why people do this.
Mm.
People don't do this because they want to do this. They do this because they want that.
Mm.
Understand?
Yeah.
Otherwise, they do this to escape that, and then that will never happen. That's called spiritual bypassing.
See.
And so if you understand that, if you can penetrate a little bit deeper into the reason why you do, why do you breathwork? Oh, because I like to help people. Said, no, you want to make money. And with that money, you want to live a better life for yourself
See.
and the people that you love. Excluding the students. I just need them for the money. If you really make it blunt. Now you have more love in your heart than that.
Yeah.
But
No,
you
but
want something.
ultimately,
Yes, but they want that also. They're just like you. When they come for your breath work, it's not because they want some trauma healing or they want to have a relief. That is limited. Because for a little bit of relief, I can take a massage, and a massage costs 45 euros. And why should you be more expensive? But if you give me something that doesn't only give me the relief, but also the know-how that I can somehow apply to improve my life and the different life areas where I'm struggling, that has a different kind of value. So are you giving people a little pill so that they can feel a little relief? Or will you resolve my pain so I can get on with my life and take it to the next level? Now, if that's not in your toolbox, if that's not your intent, then why are you doing it in the first place? Then you're just a symptom. You just do a little bit of symptomatic. You're just like doctors, prescribing them some medicine and telling them to take one every week. At least that I get insured, and your stuff I have to pay for, probably black. So it's a bad deal. So I just go to the doctor. Fuck you. You're expensive for me and not effective. You see?
Yeah.
So you need to wake people up. You need to say, look, you are doing this for a reason. I want to know your reason, or we're not going to do anything. And then I'm going to help you improve every area of your life. And this is one of the tools that I'm going to use. And then maybe I have some other tools. And maybe there's some things I can do. Okay, collaborate. But do that and stop doing this, because this is piss. It's nothing. It's a symptomatic stuff and it will never get value. In my opinion, it should not be valued because it's not helping. People come because they want better lives. And otherwise, they're just shopping around, having a great time, doing some breath work. And I'm not going to waste my fucking time on a bunch of tourists. Like, fuck off. Go and lay on the beach. Yeah, drink a cocktail, because that's what you'll do right after my class. So stop disrespecting me, and I should stop disrespecting myself. I know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And you better know, or fuck off. I'm not going to do it. You want to do that? I'm out. I'm going to stop coaching you tomorrow. That's it. We'll be friends. I'll respect you. I'll still ask you every once in a while how you're doing, and I'll still love you the same way. But I'm not going to do anything because I can't do anything. Because you're just so hooked into this, you're like a junkie. And I cannot help you with that. Unless you wake the F up and understand that this is like a certain aquarium. It will never grow bigger. That's it. So you see, that's a shift in in perspective. It's a shift in understanding. That's the shift that I went through. Well, I'm going through that shift my whole life. I knew it somehow from the beginning, but still I had to go through a very long journey to make it work. And then finally, when that last piece of the puzzle, that last crisis, that dark night of the soul that I went through, where I just was ready to die and commit suicide, somehow, somewhere there in the middle of everything, I got my little blessing, because that last piece of the puzzle fall right into the right place, and then all of a sudden it was clear. I said, of course. And it's as simple as the difference between this and that. That's it. That's all I expect from you, to switch, to flip the switch. Understand the difference between this and that. And then have a good look at what you're doing, and a good look at what other people are doing and how they're doing it and how much they're making, and see the limitation of this. And that this, what is maybe gold if you use it well, but if it becomes a way to distract myself, so that yeah, maybe do some inner work, whatever, but it's not really connecting to that. That's what you see now everywhere, you know, like ayahuasca, this, that, ooh, so much. So what? So what are you doing? Are you doing this or are you doing that? That's all I need to know, because this is not going anywhere. I know people who have done 50 ayahuascas, and they're as neurotic as in the beginning. They're just such a mess, you don't want to believe it. And I said, how does it work? I said, because they do this. And the spirit, right, needs the context, it needs the body, and it needs the life. It's all one.
Yeah.
The external, the internal, what I know, I want, and it is an integrated system. You can't separate. That's not yogic, that's not spiritual, that's the opposite. And when this is disconnected from that, it will always be disconnected from that, and it will not affect that. So you have to swallow that pill. You have to. There's no other, I don't see any other way to do it. But when you get it and you start to do it, now I'm all in. Because I'm all in anyways. But I'm doing that. And I create results. And these results are noticeable and measurable in every aspect of a person's life. You talk to any of my clients and you ask them, how is this affecting your relationship? How is it affecting your kids? How is it affecting your health? How is it affecting your work? How is it affecting your financial situation? And no matter what you ask them, your relationship with your family, whatever, and they will all score an 8 or higher on every question that you ask them after a certain amount of time. I can give you all of their phone numbers. Now, they will all, I mean, you know, you have different types of clients, but
no, I don't even need to ask them. I feel it already. Like it really shakes me deep enough to like, whoa.
Yeah, of course. So that's that. And that's not the same as this. This just plays, it can play, it has the potential to play an important part in that. But you need to choose, am I going to keep doing this, or am I going to do that? And so that also refers, how it reflects, it also refers to your life. Where I ask you, like I said, ask my clients and ask you to score, and you will not score even a 6. And that's because of this. So if you want that, then you need to give it. And some of that value, some percentage of the contribution that you made will come back to you. That's how it works in the business world. You get a percentage of the profit, of the result at the end of the year. Right? If you do well, and if you do it in a certain amount of time. Otherwise, you just get the salary, which is the minimum. Yeah. So, and that's of course, I think deep down, that's the soul. That's the service. That's really wanting to contribute to the lives of others and through them create a better world. That's a vision. That's a long term. That's say, look, I had impact. Love, life, live, love, matter, and love life. Love life before you enter a love life. And you will love life when you live, when you know how to live, when you know how to love, and when you know how to matter. And all these retreats and so it doesn't matter really now. It's not really making happen. It's not. It's overrated. I've done retreats my whole life. I've worked hard. I gave amazing classes. People still talk about it, and they're still full of shit. They're still the same old neurotic, ignorant people than they were before. Just talking highly of me. Who cares? Because yeah, I was a great entertainer, and we had some great experiences, but you didn't get it because I was not getting it, so I couldn't give it. But I tried. I did, I did try, but it was a journey. That's why I gave up in the end. I gave up my whole thing, the whole Kundalini, everything, my retreat house, my yoga studio, the community, the teacher training programs, everything that I built. Imagine 25 years, I built a whole empire. I had a whole community of thousands of people. I didn't have to make an effort to get my retreats full. We did 18 retreats in the summer. Doesn't matter. In the first year in Ibiza, I made 150,000 euros on the bank clean. Everybody's like, who's this newcomer? They all wanted to know me. Doesn't matter. Doesn't make a difference. I wanted to make a difference, and that was not doing it. Because at the end of the teacher training program, just to make a point, they asked people to, they all the rooms were perfectly, with the white things and the sheets, and I all did it myself. I put every room love into, and then when they came, the bed was perfect and everything was perfect. And all I asked at the end of the, not at the end of the week, at the end of the year, when they had their level one teacher training program, and I said, I just ask you one thing before you go, just take the covers off, put them outside on the floor, and I will put in a pile of new, fresh things. Please put it on and make the bed as you found it. And they couldn't. Some people, they just put out, like, they were frustrated about it, and they just put the pillow like in the blanket like that. Like a fuck you. And so I handed out the papers and I said, this paper means absolutely fucking, it means nothing. The only thing that means something is how you put the pillow in how you put the cover around the pillow. So that is the only thing that means something. And so I wasted my time, but here's your paper. Really, I did. I said these things. I didn't give a shit. And then people said, yeah, you're not a teacher. I said, well, that's what you think.
Hmm.
I said, you're not getting it. And I failed to teach you. And now I'm going to stop wasting my time. Really, it was like that. And that's hardcore, not just for them, but for me.
Yeah, yeah.
I broke. That was 25 years of my life gone, just like that, like a glass scattered on the ground. But that was the end of that aquarium.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Now I'm doing something else. So I think for now we're good. Gonna do it all in one session.
Yeah.
Well, this was a great one. You took it well. Well, now let the medicine work.
Amazing. So then I'll print those things that you sent me, right?
Please, please.
Okay. Okay.
And well, give me a second because I need to go to the toilet.
Yeah. I'm doing the same then.
Right. So we can do Monday.
The 8th.
Mhm.
Okay. What time?
At 11.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. Well, yeah, at some point maybe we'll find a more like a fixed time, and we'll do a bit of continuation, but let's just take it one step at a time now. Let's see how. Yeah.
Perfect. 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 And is there anything that I have to do for Monday?
No, I think it's already done.
Digest it all?
Just test. It's whatever. No, you don't need to do anything. Just these things, they will come in deep, and the medicine will do the work. You don't need to do anything. Enjoy life.
I'm doing what I can with that, definitely.
Right. Great.
Thank you, Siri, so much.
All right, dear.
Super appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. See you in a week.
Amazing day. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.